Hey guys, it is me. So I want to just get on here for a few minutes and talk about testing. Okay, it's that time of year that if you are in a grade 3 through 12, you're going to be hearing about testing. If you're K2, you're going to be hearing about your end of year assessments. Okay, so first off, let me just go ahead and get it out of the way. I am not the teacher that tests are the do all end all. Okay, I believe if you've learned the material, you're probably going to do better than you think you will. But I also believe some people have severe testing anxiety. I've had students that have done amazing throughout the course, and then they wake up the day of the test, and whether it's nerves or whether it's sick, they're not feeling good. Okay, they have a migraine or their parent just died, whatever the situation may be, and they didn't do well on the test or as well as expected. That does not mean they didn't learn anything. That just means they had a bad day. Okay, so I always tell my students, do not let your results of that test determine how you feel about things. Okay, so I teach the material. I want them to be successful on this test with that sense of success for them. Okay, and so they can get the credits. But I also teach them strategies and just tips on how to be successful on that test. Okay, so I am going to be talking to you about some of that today as well. Okay, so I have got a list that I'm going to be looking for. You're going to kind of see me look at it really quickly right here. I'm going to screenshot it, give it to you like I always do, so you can screenshot it at the end, because I want you to have these tips, okay? So let's get started. First off, when you get this test, if it's a multiple choice question, always read the answers first. That sounds crazy, and when the first time I heard it, I was like, what? But if you read the answer before you even read the passage or the question, then, especially this will work for a reading test also, then you know what information you're looking for in that question. Now, obviously, this is if we're talking about like word problems or analyzing a situation, okay? So if you have multiple choice, read your answers first before even reading the passage, because that just kind of starts your brain thinking about what you are looking for, okay? Second off, see if you can eliminate any answers, okay? And I'll do videos on like showing what I mean on this stuff, but see if you can eliminate any answers. So I tell my students all the time, usually, especially like EOCs, EOGs, you have 4 questions or 4 answer choices. I'm sorry. If you have absolutely no idea and you just guess, you have a 25% chance of getting the correct answer. 25%. If you can eliminate one answer, maybe it's a ridiculous answer, maybe it's one that I know that can't be the answer, then if you can eliminate one answer, you've upped your chances of guessing correct up to 33%. If you can eliminate 2 answers, then you have upped your chances of, even if you're guessing, getting it right to 50-50, okay? So eliminate any answers you have. Do not just look at it and say, I don't know how to do that, and pick a guess and go on, okay? See if you can eliminate any answers, because every answer you can eliminate is a better chance of, even if you're guessing, of getting it correct, okay? Now, some people say always choose C. I don't believe that. There may be scientific proof to prove that. I don't believe that. I have made tests in the past, and I usually try to not pick C. So I'm not saying pick C. If that's your jam, great. But always see if you can eliminate any answers, okay? Because every answer you can eliminate is going to up your chances of, even if you're guessing correctly. My next tip, use your answers as a tool. And what I mean by that is, if you are, say, solving an equation, and again, I can do videos on each of these tips, okay? If you are solving an equation and your answer choices are A, B, C, D, if you don't know how to solve the equation or you don't know how to do the math problem, plug in your answers, okay, and see what works, all right? So if you are solving for 2x plus 5 equals 20, I don't know, then you are going to, and it gives you x equals 1, 2, 3, and 4, neither of those are the answers, but anyway, then plug in those answer choices and see which one makes the statement true, okay? So use your answers as a tool, okay? Now, again, these are for multiple choice answers, but use your answers as a tool. See if you can plug them in and figure out the correct answer that way. Next, mark up your word problems, and this actually probably should have been further up the list. As you're reading it, highlight, circle any important information. Okay, the online tests now, the EOCs, EOGs are mostly on, most schools and counties, districts do them online. They have highlighters. They have tools where you can X out answers. They can do all the things, okay? Highlight your answer. Make sure you are pulling out that important information and those keywords. Okay, so mark up your word problems. Kids think that's just an English thing. It is a math thing, because half of the test, guys, math, science, social studies, history, English, all the things, a lot of them are just reading comprehension, okay? So half the battle is knowing what it's asking and what's too much information, okay? So mark up your answers. Make sure you know what it's asking, and make sure you're answering that question, okay? We'll do more videos on this. Use the calculator if allowed. Okay, so I teach high school. But like I said in previous videos, our district and a lot of districts out there, most of them that I've dealt with now are using Desmos, which is an online graphing calculator, okay? It's amazing, okay? Use your calculator. Use Desmos. So if you are in North Carolina, Math 3, most states that's Algebra 2, but I can speak to Math 3, EOC, and of course test, is completely calculator inactive, guys. And I tell my kids, there's a lot of questions that you literally just have to plug in, all right, and it will give you the answer. It'll tell you the answer. If you are, which equation matches the graph, plug them both into Desmos, and when you get the same graph, that's your answer, okay? So a lot of those kids that struggle with, especially that higher level math, this is a strategy to help them learn. Use your calculator, even if it's to check your work. If it's a lower grade level and you are doing, I thoroughly believe kids need to know how to do their multiplication tables. But if it is a problem that it takes you a few minutes to do multiplication tables, use that calculator, guys. It's just time. It just saves on time, okay? So use the calculator if allowed. This is important. Do not second guess yourself. Usually, unless you can prove that your first answer is incorrect, or at least have a really good reason to change it, don't second guess yourself. Science, I'm sure somewhere out there, because I've heard it enough, proves your first guess, your initial reaction is usually the right one. Okay, so unless you could, like, that first answer was wrong, and you're just kind of like, I don't know, man, maybe it's this, maybe, don't second guess yourself, okay? Those students that teachers get frustrated with because they just fly through the test, a lot of times those are the ones that do good because they don't second guess. I was that student. I never went back and checked my answers. I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm saying do not second guess yourself, because that is just your insecurities sneaking in, okay? First instinct is normally the best. Finally, and this is my most important tip of all, let it go. I wish I was good enough to TikTok to cue the music, okay? Let it go. Once that test is finished, be it SAT, be it EOG, be it EOC, be it a classroom test, whatever it is, once you have hit submit, close your computer, let it go. At that point, you have done the best you could. You either passed it, you didn't, you came close, you got a wrong answer, whatever. Nothing you can do about it. Let it go. Try your best, but once it's done, it is done. Do not let it hang over your head, guys. I have seen so many kids get so upset and go home crying or go home depressed because they think they failed the day. I don't mean it ugly, but at that point, it's done. However you did, that point it's done. Let it go. Once you close that computer, let that just slide off your back, and I am finished, okay? That is probably my most important one, and I tell my students all the time, okay? So I'm going to stop this. I'm going to give you a screenshot of my testing tips really quickly, and I will do a video on each of these, kind of explaining in more detail, okay? But I wanted to let you guys know just kind of a snippet on these. All right, let's see. Actually, I was getting ready to say something, but let's see. Hold that thought. Here we go. Here's my dress. Sorry. So those are my testing tips. Screenshot it. I'll do videos on each of those, guys, kind of going more into detail. I hope this helped. I hope this relieves a little bit of anxiety. Look, guys, just, you got this. Do not let the fear of that test make you or break you, guys. Please don't. It's not worth it, okay? If you need any more tips, or you want advice, or you want me to work one-on-one with you about getting over some testing anxiety or how to be successful in that test, let me know. Thanks, guys.